Hey everyone, on this edition of Off the Cuff, I'm going to be showing you some of the British Darby leg irons in the collection. We're only going to be looking at the British ones, not the American or not the ones made in other countries. Okay, just today we're just going to look at the ones made in Britain. I'm going to be showing you some of the British cuffs, leg irons in my collection. Now, vintage ones are really getting harder to find. I only have 3 pair of vintage British leg irons, and I have another pair that I'll show you that came along in the 1970s. They were made by the same makers as the handcuffs, you know, Hyatt, Froggatt, etc., etc. Just they also came in many different sizes. Now these are the pair of leg irons that are non-vintage, meaning they're not real antique. These date from about the 1970s, when Hyatt came out with Darby pattern. Here you can see it says British made and the Hyatt stamp. Now these are non-ferrous metal. They're not, magnets won't stick to them, in other words. They're not made out of steel or iron, as it were. Like, I have 3 pair of vintage ones. These are my favorite. These are Froggatt. And, sorry, it's a mess. Now, just to show you a comparison between the leg, the shackle that goes around your leg. These are Hyatts. And compare that to the standard. There we go. You can see the size difference. This is for your hands, obviously. This is for your legs. Both made by the same company, Hyatt of England. Now this set of leg irons actually has a center ring. You could either thread cuffs through it, you could thread a chain through it for a chain gang if you were going to bring a lot of different prisoners, you know, to court or whatever, or you could even just nail it to the floor. Now the leg irons of the day came with all different chain lengths and different ways of connecting one cuff to the other, depending on the needs of the prison, the jail, or wherever they were used. Unfortunately, all I have so far is the snap shut leg irons. I don't have any of the plug leg irons or any of the ones that used straight bars in between or gigantic links in between to you know, in the prison or whatever. That's an unknown maker. I can't find a maker's mark on there anywhere. The middle one is the Froggatt, and the bottom with the super long chain are the Hyatts. Now notice that the Hyatts have a swivel unit here and a swivel unit here on either side of the center ring. The Froggatt and the other ones, the mystery ones, both have a single swivel unit. And the 1970s, you can see the difference between the craftsmanship here. I mean, these are obviously 19th century. Now the purpose of the swivel was to keep the chain from getting bound or caught on stuff, because when a prisoner is walking, it would twist. This keeps the cuffs, the leg irons in place on the prisoner's legs, and they can't twist it around while walking. If you've ever had leg irons on that have no swivel in between, sometimes it can get tangled. It's just the nature of chain. Chain happens to twist. You can see the similarity in the links. And I have to tell you that the Hyatt leg irons are really heavy. Here, let's bring this close. See the maker's mark? Hyatt. Luckily, both Hyatt, my Hyatts, the Hyatts came with the original key. The Frogget, when I got them, they didn't have any key, and the mystery leg irons came with a very old style key. It just says number 27, and there's no 27. There's no numbers or anything whatsoever on these cuffs. I've even looked at them with a loop, and I can't find a single thing. And also notice the different sizes of the end shackle. The Frogget being the biggest, then Hyatt, and then this is the smallest one. There is the maker's mark, Frogget, warranted wrought. Frogget, warranted wrought. A look inside the keyhole. These operate exactly the same way as the Darby handcuffs as well. And the reason they're called Darbys, of course, is because it looks like the letter D, the shackle part. Here's the Hyatt. Even the difference in the swivel, the weight of the Hyatt is much more than the other two. Okay, here's the Hyatt leg irons. Have a huge chain. There we go. Connecting them. This gives you an idea of how long the chain is. It's doubled. There we go. Whereas the Frogget is a bit more manageable with that chain length linking the two cuffs together, and smaller yet is the Unknown Maker. Now, I just had an idea. Here we go. Now these are American made. These are the Providence Tool Company. And let's compare the chain length and the overall size of these with the British ones. Now these are the Providence Tool Company, the top one. Those are American made. And as far as size goes with the chain connector, they seem to be most similar to my Froggets. But each link in the chain is thicker on the British cuffs. Naturally, since the locking mechanism on leg irons is much larger than that on the handcuffs, the length of the key is longer as well. I'll show you. You can see this is handcuff. Difference between two Hyatt keys, leg iron, handcuff. Now that means, of course, that the bigger leg iron key is too big to fit in the handcuff, and the handcuff key is too small to fit in the leg irons.